guys, welcome back to my channel. First of all, I want to apologize for the lighting. If it's going in and out, it's getting overexposed or the brightness, whatever, because I'm in natural light. Something that is a big interest and a big part of my life, and that's cars. I know that it's unusual for a woman to maybe talk about this topic or have a really big interest in cars, but I really do. Since I was, even before I was able to drive, obviously, I've had a huge fascination with cars. And with that, I don't mean like, oh, do you know, like I want to be able to learn, or I know how to be able to do an oil change, or so I'm not that kind of girl. I'm not the one that likes to go in there and like figure out how it works and all of that. I like the body styles, so the interiors, the exterior, and the style of the cars. For me, is like, I think cars can be very sexy and beautiful, which probably sounds weird talking about a car, but that's how I feel. I've had so many cars because I do like to, experience new things, and with that, I feel like you get all these, different things with different cars. So today I just wanted to be able to talk about all the different cars that I've owned. And I have, again, notes down here, so if I'm looking down, that's why. But my first car, I was 16 years old, and my grandmother bought it for me. Mom, I think that's right, so correct me if I'm wrong on that. But, and it's a RX, it was an RX-7. And I loved that car. Of course, it was my first car, so it was a huge deal. It was a two-seater, sporty. What I'm going to try to do is try to find pictures of all the cars that I'm talking about, and I'll insert them. I'm not sure. I haven't figured out a way to be able to insert them where it's like as I'm talking about it, so it'll probably be at the end, and maybe I'll just do it in chronological order. But anyways, it was an RX-7 that I had. And I absolutely love this car. It was an automatic. It wasn't automatic. It was a stick, manual. So it was a manual. I think there's only been maybe two or three cars, maybe two cars that I've owned that were automatics. Everything else has been manual, so stick. But it was like sort of, the color of it was not my favorite. But it was like sort of like a light brown that had like, shimmer in it. So at the time I was living in Florida, that's where I'm from, so Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And yeah, that was huge. Trashed it like a million times. I can't even tell you, Mom, you could say probably, how many accidents that I have in that car. I want to say at least 4 or 5 accidents that I had in that car. So nothing major, thankfully. Well, there was one that was a little bit major, but nothing involving any other like, people or anything. There was no major damage. It was just damage to the car. So yeah, my insurance was quite expensive. But anyway, so I'm getting off topic. The next, actually, I've had so many other cars. I'm not gonna be able to talk about all of them today, but I'm gonna talk about the top ones that are, my favorites, and then the ones that that I would like to, that I would still love to own, or to be able to test drive or check out and see. So there was, the next one was a Jeep Wrangler. This one I loved. Again, I was still living in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale, and this one was great because, of course, you could take the top off. I had all-weather speakers in there that were added in, so I'm a huge music buff, so I absolutely love listening to music, especially when I'm driving. And so anyways, that was fantastic. I love that. It was very, it wasn't so great obviously on the highway, because when you're on the highway, you pick up speed, obviously the top, it would flap, and then it would make so much noise. It was deafening. But it was an awesome, awesome car. I've had, I think 2, I've had 2 of those. So once when I was much younger, so I would say in my late teens, early 20s, I had a Jeep Wrangler, and then I had one again after, when we were living in Colorado, and after Tierney was born. What else? The other one that I had that I absolutely loved was a Range Rover, and I had that, we were in Colorado and also in California. and I absolutely love that car too. I just felt like the quality of the car and the stereo system inside of it, and the attention to detail was fantastic. Um, yeah, so that was a great car. The other car that I had when I was much younger, early to mid 20s, was a Del Sol, and I'm not even sure who. Again, this is a two-seater, a sporty car, but I'm not sure who even makes that car. I'll look it up and I'll put it in the description bar down below. But it was Del Sol, and it was, the top was a hard top, and you could just, with like 2 clips, take off the top and then insert it into the trunk. It had this little thing where you could sit it into, and then it became a convertible. Otherwise, it was a regular car, and I loved that car too. That was great. I had that one for, I want to say maybe 2 years, maybe. I switched cars quite a bit. The next one I had most recently, before, I have a Mini Cooper now, but before that I had an Audi TT, and I absolutely love that car. And I say it like that because I had a minor, accident, so it's sort of like fender bender, but it was up against a wall. Where I used to live, there was this low wall. I was coming home. And it was always, this car is much wider than what I had, because just before the Audi TT I had a Mini 1, so it was much smaller and very compact, and the Audi was much wider, and so I was always concerned coming home, oh, I need to make sure to be careful with that wall, be careful with the wall. And then of course, sure enough, one day I came home and boom, and hit the wall. But the damage that had been done to it apparently exceeded the value of the car, so it's this whole thing with the insurance or whatever, and so I ended up getting rid of that and then getting what I have now, which is the Mini Cooper, which I also love too. Let's see. I've also owned, gosh, I can't remember. I had a Ford Expedition, so that was seated like 7 people or something crazy like that. And we had that when we were in Colorado, and we used to we had a boat as well, so we used to pull the boat with that. But it's funny because now that I've been living in Germany for whatever, 7 years or so, it's funny because now looking back, I see people here on the Autobahn pulling boats, campers, horse trailers with horses in it, obviously, with like, these small BMWs and Mercedes. So I don't know what bill they were trying to sell us in the States about how you had to have these big vehicles in order to pull stuff. I think it was all crap, but anyways. So we had an Expedition, and we used to pull the boat with that. But what else? I had, I think, two different Toyota Camrys. Those were like, more like, yeah, it was like, a 5-seater. It was more comfortable. It wasn't, it was okay. I wouldn't do that style car again. It wasn't my thing. And then I also had, it was a purple car, and I'll have to ask my sister because I cannot remember what Saturn. That's what it was. It was a Saturn, but I can't remember the make of it. But it was like this purple eater, like, yeah, I don't know. Again, it was sort of like one of those, like the Camry, where it was just kind of like, I don't really care for the body style and everything. It's just more for comfort and convenience, and it was brand new, so I knew nothing, it wouldn't break down, or it was under warranty and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, so that's it. I'm now driving, like I said, a Mini Cooper, which I absolutely love. But if I was going to say what would I want to drive now, I would, in the future, I would still like to be able to look at another, like, Range Rover, the new Range Rovers. The body style is quite different from the one that I had, so I'm not sure if I really care for that, but I would like to test drive one. The other thing is I still would absolutely love an Audi TT. I just love that car. I think it was sort of like I was in the honeymoon phase with that, where I hadn't really had it long enough to the point to where I felt like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm done. I'm ready for the next car. So I think I would absolutely love to get another one of those. What else? There was another one that I wanted to tell you guys about. But yeah, anyway, so I just wanted to be able to share that with you, and I'm curious to know if there's any other women out there that really enjoy cars. I have a niece that absolutely loves motorcycles, and she drives a Ninja. And so I don't know, I think it's kind of cool when you can have, you know, be one part of you, a large part of you is very feminine and somewhat girly. I'm not very girly, but and then the other part of you just really enjoy things that are normally stereotypical for, you know, a guy or but anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little bit different from what I have been doing in the past, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.